Hi and welcome to today's video, which is the first that have been to camera for 2025. I hope you've had a lovely Christmas and a happy new year, and I hope the best for you all for the forthcoming year. I've got together 15 items for my new project pan. So it's one up from last year, but it's basically a rolling project pan to use 15 items from various categories up in a year. Last year I managed to finish, I think it was 24 items on a rolling basis. There was one item that defeated me, which was a hair oil. But I did do good progress, so I've selected 15 more and I will show you what I've got. So the first item is very much like the last perfume I had in the end of last year's project pan. So basically it's a similar shaped bottle, but this is the original. It's Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede. So I use the other of an evening and Mr. Bear like that, so I'm going to use this of an evening. So this is 100ml, and I'll have actually marked where I'm up to, but you can't quite see very well, but I can see it, the mark is there. So yeah, I've got 100ml and I suspect I've got about 80ml left, so I shall work on that of an evening through the year. But it's a lovely soft floral. I can't say it's particularly leathery because suede is leather, but it's more of an ambery base, I would say, but it's nice and light. The next item is one I want to use up. I have done fairly well. The thing that makes that I'm resistant to using it is because it has a terrible smell to me. Now I think it is maybe the standard Kerastase fragrance line, or at least in this range, the Nutritive, and it just smells rank. It smells absolutely awful. It reminds me of tonka bean, and I don't like tonka, and sandalwood. That is, and it says it's floral. I can't get any floral notes out of this at all. But what it does, it's not original. I think I can't think. I do have another companies going back for many years that did a product like this, but in recent years they brought out the Nutritive Night Serum. So Percy and Reed had an overnight one. So this really is very similar. If your hair is feeling frizzy, coarse, unkempt at night, and you want to soften or smooth your hair overnight, you put a pump or two of this depending on the length of your hair and your preferences. You rub it through your hair, and then you go to bed, and then the next morning your hair is softened, and it does work. I'm not going to say if your hair's very coarse it's going to be ultra silky, but it does help in softening. So you don't need to wash it out. You can use it every night if you want to. I will use it sometimes the first night I wash my hair, but generally by the second it's starting to get quite dry, and I put it through mid-lengths and ends, and it does do a good job. So I'm basically, can you see that's where the fluid is? I'm just under the K. So I don't use it every time I wash my hair, or every week even, but I would like to get this finished up because I have other products that I prefer to this. But I'll show you the box. It's quite expensive, the Kerastase. There it is, and the whole bottle is 90ml, and it is the 8 Hour Magic Serum. So it does help smooth and condition the hair overnight. But I'm not saying use that instead of conditioner. It's after you've done all your hair care. If you find your hair is still dry, frizzy and dry, that works. Then the next item I've got is a Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. I got this in, I think it was either in an advent calendar or beauty box for December. And I've had this before in minis. This is the Illuminating, silicone free, and it is 50ml. I think the reason it went into the beauty box as a full size is because it's the older packaging. I think the packaging is white and a dual tone at the top, like one of the pastel colours at the top. So I think this is old packaging. So I thought I would start this straight away. I won't use it every time I use makeup, but I have tried it and I do like it because I have used it over the years. So this is 50ml, and its starting weight is 62.5 grams. So because it's quite opaque, it's going to be difficult to show otherwise. The next item is also opaque, but I did want to start using this and hopefully get it finished. This is the Bobbi Brown Intensive Skin Serum Foundation SPF 40. Now they have produced in the last year or so another serum based foundation that the bottle isn't opaque. I think it's a standard transparent bottle, but looks very similar in shape. I'm not sure why, because I think they're very similar products, but it may be without SPF, and this has SPF in, but it is serumy. It's not runny. It's not as thick as a cream, but not as thin as a liquid. It's somewhere. It's a hybrid gel serum, I would say. It's 30 ml. I've weighed it because that's the only way I can see what it is. Its weight is 154 gram. Now, the only thing is it does leak, and I think that's a design fault because a lot of people have mentioned that. And this is a very pale colour. It is my skin tone, but I prefer my skin to be darker. There it is. I prefer it does match my skin tone, but I prefer my skin to be darker, so I have darkened it down. But I hope to use that up because it is a lovely foundation. I got this inexpensively. I think it was around £16 on Notino or one of the sites, because it's normally 58. So it is lovely, and I hope to get that used up, like I say, on my face today with the primer. So there's quite a bit of luminance going on here. Then I've got the Hourglass Veil. So I bought this on eBay because a few calendars, people deconstruct beauty calendars and put them up for sale. So I got this from one of the advent calendars that someone was breaking up, and I think they paid about £9 because I wanted to try this because this is worth about £21 for 2 gram of the veil. Now, it's had mixed reviews. Not many people seem to like it. I think in part because of the cost. So it's a very, very fine talc-free powder. It's got mica, and I think it's mica and silica. Now, mica is sparkly and reflective. Silica is drying, because you get silica beads if you get accessories, clothes, bags. You'll often get little beads in, and that is to take any water or any humidity out of the clothing, or to stop, if it's in humid conditions, to stop any water seeping in. So silica is very drying, and mica isn't. It is similar. So I found this very drying on the skin. So, and a little goes a long way. You only need a tiny amount. So I've used it a little just under the eyes, and a little there, and on the nose, and a little on the chin. So that's all I've used it for. I think this is a finishing powder. It wouldn't be good for oily skin, for setting, although I'm saying it's dry. One, it would make your skin very shiny and sparkly, like a weird sparkly effect. And two, it's very lightweight, so I'm not sure it'd be good for oils, but a little goes a long way. I have been using quite a bit of it, but you can't see any movement. So although it's 2 gram and I can fly through powders, this type of powder I think is going to take me the rest of the year. So it's one I couldn't recommend for anyone, but there are obviously some people who like it, and it's all up to personal preference, and that is called the Veil. Translucent, it says setting powder, but no. Then I have the Milk Bronzer Mini, which I got, I think it was in a Boots bag over Christmas, and I have used quite a bit of it. So it's 3 gram mini, but I have used about a third of it. So I've never finished a bronzer. So I'm going to see if I can finish this mini one, and I'll see what other I can put in its place. I have marked it, but I've used about a third of it now. So it may go either perhaps by the end of March, hopefully before then, but I'm just saying then it might be done that. What I will say, when I opened this up, and bearing in mind it had just gone into this beauty box new, it smelled of sulphur. It had a horrendous smell. It's still a bit plasticky, but I know people do complain about the scent and how quick it goes off, even if you don't use it. So I thought I'd bake it out. It is a bit orangey, and I do have it on the periphery of the face there, but I was able to blend it out and then put another tone of bronzer on top. It is stiff, so I would not advise putting it onto the face, because if you have, it might go better with a stick foundation, but even so I think it's going to drag, but with fluid and creams it will pull off. So what I do is I put it up, put it onto a finger, clean finger, and I dab it over. That's what I do. I've tried a brush, it didn't work very well, but it is a very, very stiff formula, and it is a matte finish. Then I have by MAC, I've had this a long time, and it's so long, can you see it's all been rubbed off. This is called Back to Nature, and it is a contour, but it was classed as a blush, I believe. But it is a contour, it's a grey toned contour. And this was discontinued a long time ago, and people really love this product. But I have hit pan. And yeah, it's definitely a grey tone blush. It's a taupe, a pale taupe. As you can see, that's its true colour. So I'm going to try and get some use out of it, see if I can use it up this year. And well, I'm going to be optimistic and try, shall we say that. So it is old, so I'd like to get that out of my collection. I've also got from Benefit next a Rockateur. Now I got this around 2019 from, it was in a set of 6 minis, and some of them have discarded, but I've got a couple left. And this is the Rockateur 1.6 gram. So a lot of people did like this, and as well as the Dallas and the Gold Rush, but obviously they've discontinued. So I would say this is a reddish pink with a bit of gold in it and a bit of warm brown. That's the nearest I can see as a combination of colours. And I've got that on my cheeks today, but I will do a swatch. And this is a very hard pressed powder, so it's going to take a lot to work through. There it is. So it is a warm tone, which I like because my face has got so much red on it. It's to counter the red. I don't like red or pink on my cheeks, but I do like this. It's a lovely powder. And I did start it around November, I think. So I think it's going to take a long time. But the Rockateur that's on it, yeah, it had rock and then a tur. The tur bit's gone, but the rock bit, that is still there, but it's fading. It was pressed into the powder. Then I have, by Urban Decay, I've got an eyeshadow from the Naked palette, the original Naked, called Naked. So I've got various shadows and whatever. In fact, I'll show you, I've got the contour from last year's project pan, which I'm still going to use. And in fact, I've got it on today, under there. So the actual Naked one is this. So it has a dip at the top. And I've got this over the entire mobile lid. So that is Naked from the Urban Decay Naked eyeshadow palette. I want to use that up, that's my goal. I want to hit pan and then use that up. And it's a matte shade, a medium tone, neutral brown matte. Then there is the Rodial Eyeliner. Now I had that in last year and I took it out. It was towards the end. And this is in brown. And the problem I have with that, it's a lovely gel, but it's oil. It's an oil base rather than a gel base. Sorry, it's an oil because it smudges. So it will transfer to the upper lid because I have hooded eyes with age. So I have to set it down. I've got the Blackbird variant on today because it's a larger pencil and I'm trying to use them down, but I will focus on this one as well. I like the tone because it's not too reddish. I don't like a very reddish brown, but it's lovely. It just needs, I do set it with the Hourglass Veil. I get a thin pencil brush and put it on top, and it mattifies it enough so it doesn't transfer. But this is quite nice, and it is better. I think Rodial palettes are lovely, but better if you don't have hooded eyes. Then I've got a lipstick, and there's several I want to use up this year from Urban Decay because one, they're in the old packaging and therefore they're quite old because the new formula has been out a few years. When I say new, the current one. So I've got this, which I've been working on, and it's called Exhibition, and it is a pink. It's showing up a bit whiter than it is. It's a slightly darker in real life, but I have worn this a lot, and you've seen it in videos in recent months. I think it's in a matte, comfort matte. So it is very opaque and it is comfortable, and I have got it marked up. I've got them all marked up, but I'd say I've used half. That's what I'll say. I've used half in a few months. So I'll see if I can get that one. Exhibition. It's no longer available as a colour. See if I can get that bright pink to be finished, to use it up. Then I've got a setting spray, and this is from Barry M. I've not tried a Barry M one before, and it's called Fresh Face Dewy Setting Spray with cucumber and snow mushroom. So we're starting off, I've actually tried to get a purplish pen to mark it. So I'm starting off about, I'd say, 80% full, I would say. and it's nice. It's more of a blending spray to meld powders together, rather than one that sets down and produces longevity in the makeup. It doesn't promote that, but it is nice. And what I'll do is I'll do this midway through my makeup, and I'll use another to finish when I've done all the makeup. But this is nice, and it does add some extra moisture to the skin. After that, I'm just having a look. Sorry, I'm just looking down to see where I'm up to. Then I've got Smashbox lip gloss, and the name is called Hustle and Glow, but it doesn't tell you how many mil or there is. But I've just noticed, stood up, and I will mark it where the S is at Smashbox, is where just above the S, around there's a break, so I think that's where it must start. But I haven't used it to any degree, and I've got this. I didn't buy it, so I've got this in a box or other. And Smashbox is no longer sold, and it hasn't been for a number of years in the UK. So I want to get this used up. It's quite gloopy. I've got it on my lips over. I've got this on, and I've got this over the lips. So it is quite a gloopy formula, which isn't my favourite. So I'm going to try and get that used up. It's quite a summery tone. Coppery, pinky, peachy sort of shade. I like it. It's just very goopy, but I'll try and get that used up. And then I've got another product from Rodial, and it is the glass highlighter, and I'm not sure what the shade is. I think it's just their one shade that they've got. Oh, Champagne Glow. And I got this in an advent calendar. I think it may have been, I'm not sure. I only got a couple of advent calendars, but I'll have to check it up. It may have been Space NK, I'm not too sure. And it's got 2 mil. I've got it on my cheeks today. There, it's really, really, really beautiful. I like a liquid. I don't have many highlighters at the moment, so it's one that I want to try and see if I can use up. Because once you start, liquids can go off. But what I do is I put this either on a palette or on a hand that's been just washed, so that I'm not transferring bacteria back into this. So I tap out enough that I think I'm going to use, and I do the same with the lip gloss. And the final item is one that has been in the project before. I did finish 1 or 2 nail polish lists last year, but this is one that was in the project that I didn't get to finish. It was a substitution for one that I'd used up, and this is Orly, and it is called, I should have looked at it before, Artist's Garden. So it's where the writing, you see there's a black line, that's where we're up to, so it's just under halfway. I'll be using it each month, but it'll be more used, I would imagine, in spring. But this is 18 mil, and Orly lasts a long time, but because I've been opening and shutting it and using it a lot of times, it's starting to get a bit thicker, so I feel it does need to be used up, because I really do like this shade of green. It's a neutral green with perhaps a slight yellow in, but because it's certainly not a blue tone green, because I'm not keen on that blue tones, but that is lovely. So they're all 15 items that I'm starting around now. Some I'm just starting today or haven't started, and I think this is the 4th of January that I'm filming, and I'll try and put this up the same day. So can I say thank you very much for watching and for spending a little of your precious time with me. Hopefully I shall see you in another video. I'll be doing monthly updates. I'm not sure which part of the month, because sometimes it staggers into the middle part of the month, but it will be in February. Like I say, hopefully I will see you in another video. Otherwise, please take care of yourselves, and particularly as if you're in the UK, there is a storm front coming up this evening, so please do take care and be safe. Otherwise, I'll see you very soon, and bye for now.